I did want you to know, Mo, I at least want credit for this, that I did have thoughts about just saying, hey, skip Mo this week and I'll take Plead the Fifth.
The thoughts.
I had the thoughts.
It stopped at thoughts.
Yeah, I never hit the email.
Okay. I appreciate your thoughts.
And I never texted Tommy on that one, but there were some thoughts back there that because you're going through such a rough time right now, like the last thing you need to do is take 5 questions from listeners that are designed to make you squirm when you are squirming in real life here and reeling in real life.
Right.
So I did have those thoughts.
I'm thinking of saying thank you.
But you just haven't hit send.
Yeah, it's just there. Yeah.
It's in your drafts.
So since I didn't, Tommy.
Yeah, and I had the same thought, Mo. I was going to skip you and go
I
to
love all these
Abby.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Wow.
A thinking group, aren't we?
Katie, did people in my studio, didn't I say
They saw your thoughts.
I was gonna have Abby go?
You said it, and we all agreed that you should do it.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then I forgot to do it.
Yeah, and you know what I'm thinking my thoughts are? Is that we're a bunch of big a-holes. That's what I'm thinking right now.
All right. So question number one. Question number one, by the way, needs a little history lesson if you're new to the Bert Show. We were at a conference and we were taking a picture outside and Mo was wearing some sweatpants and he had looked like he had gone to the cucumber fields of Guatemala and found the largest cucumber and had put it away safely in a sweatpants.
How'd you get that thing around customs, bro?
I gotta have my ways.
You're not allowed to travel with fresh produce. It's against the law.
Mo, do all the jokes, like my cucumber joke, about your sweatpants photo make you uncomfortable?
Not at all. Nah. It initially when it very first went viral, I was uncomfortable just because it was like you're exposed, and I think all of the men in my life were like, "Oh yeah, you're embarrassed," but I genuinely was, because who wants to be that vulnerable? But I mean, after a while, I didn't care anymore. It's all good.
Can I pause there for just 1 second because you had me curious? And Guatemala genuinely is one of the leading exports of customers in the world.
Oh, of cucumbers?
Of cucumbers in the world.
Oh,
Yep.
I didn't know that. I just
That's a hell of a joke.
was just the funniest country name that came to
I know.
mind.
I've been there, and I'm like, I've never seen any cucumbers. That's how ADHD works right there.
People were kicking back, eating their cucumbers and drinking their coffee.
Guatemala exports cucumbers, with a significant portion of the production being exported through Mo's pants.
I'm doing what I gotta do, man.
We are learning. We are just like NPR.
All right. Question number 2. How long do you think your wonderful girlfriend will stick around without a ring on her finger?
The rest of our life.
Yeah.
Aww.
So you guys have had this talk.
Yeah.
So it's
Forever,
not that
forever.
it's not that important to her either. Just so long as we're together, but we don't got to legally make this a thing.
I don't want to speak for her and say it's not important, but she's made it clear that being with me is more important than her ever being married. So if that's not in the cards for us, she has no desire to leave or be with anyone else either way.
I've been married a long time. That falls under the same category as, no, I don't want anything for my birthday.
You also didn't go to Guatemala and then come back with some produce.
Yeah, when you have that kind of produce, you can make the rules.
It's a little different, my brother.
And that's organic, no pesticides.
All right. Halfway point. Question number 3. All paychecks aside, rate your coworkers from favorite to least favorite.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
And for the sake of time, let's just keep it to this room.
You're in this room and you're asking the questions.
Well, that
Hey,
by
I know-
default makes it worse.
Yeah.
The last.
Oh man, I don't want to plead the fifth. I never plead the fifth. Okay. Bert signs the checks. Let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's smart.
I think so
that's
too.
Good. That's good policy.
Let me see. I think I can relate the most to Tommy because of your hip hop knowledge and just the culture that you have in you. So I'll go there.
Appreciate it.
No doubt. I'll go Kristen in order of I've known her the longest after that, and then go Cassie for the same reason, and then Abby, not because she's last, because I actually have a chemistry with Abby, and I think I get along with Abby the best, but I've known her for the least amount of time, so that's why I'm going.
Abby's got to put in some work.
I'm never
I'll
gonna
take
be
it.
fit.
She's going to ruminate on that all week.
No.
Can you
do that.
please
Don't
bump
do
her?
that.
Please bump her
I'd be in
do
the
it.
same position. Same position.
Don't do
I'll
that.
just know to rank you last next week.
That's fair.
And
That's
she's
fair.
known all of us the same amount of time.
Yeah.
So that one stings a little more.
That's fair.
Question 4. And I have never noticed this, but evidently one listener noticed it because these, again, are listener questions. Do you ever get annoyed or frustrated that every time you try and tell a story, Kristen or Bert always interrupts you before you finish or get to the point?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yes. I think a lot of that is coming from a comedic background. Like as a comedian, that's the way you're accustomed to telling a story. Is it's just you, and when you make the transition into radio, you're never going to finish a sentence. So you got to get used to it.
So y'all missed an opportunity there. Either Bert
To
or
cut him
Kristen.
off?
Yes, you
Yeah.
should.
He was doing it the whole time. You ain't hear him?
All right. Last question. What is the most white person thing you've witnessed since being a part of the Bert Show?
Oh, wow. You're going to need a couple of minutes to think on this one.
The most? There's so many. So many to choose from. The most.
Now, I got to mention this question because this question is similar, but I had never heard this term before. Somebody wrote this. How do you truly feel about all the WYPIPO white people? White people.
White people?
Is that like a thing in the culture? I've never heard
It's just
that.
an acronym for.
It's just it's like it's not really an acronym, but it's just the way you pronounce it to say white people.
How do you truly feel being around all the white people who are constantly white people? And
I also want to make an observation that as you were answering, it was Tommy that interrupted you this time.
Fair point. Wait, no, which question am I answering?
just that big the
first one?
Yeah.
Probably the what is called that when we went to when we were in Florida and we went to where they was dancing and they got the fried chicken. I forget the name of it.
Hoop-de-doo review?
The Hoop-de-doo review. There you go. By far.
On Bert's Big Adventure.
Bert's Big Adventure, yes.
So we have to explain what the Hoop-de-Doo review is.
So on Bert's Big Adventure, for years now, we've changed up the trip a little bit, but there has been one thing that half the staff loves and the other half of the staff not a fan of. And you go over to the Wilderness Lodge and you go in and there's this thing called the Hoop-de-Doo review. And they're kind of like in these old Western attire and they sing like these cheesy songs and it's cheesy, corny jokes. And at the end, everybody, it's good food though.
It's the whitest thing I've ever experienced, but it's the greatest fried chicken I've ever had. So weird.
Doesn't make sense.
But at the end, we all have washboards and we're like playing on the washboards and then you have these red and white checkered napkins and you're twirling them in the air and it's very white.
It's so white. It's the white.
The Bert Show.